didn't Kefee D see Puffy 6 months later after 2Pac's death at the Peterson Automotive Museum the night that Biggie was killed? Did Kefee D ask Puffy for his money then? Let's get into some of this straight game.
Life is like cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY, Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button notification. Also, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. And so I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, people usually take what the latest news headline story is and they make a YouTube video. But me personally, what I like to do, because I like to listen to what people say, and I've been listening to Kefee D, and there's a lot of questions and things based on the statements that he's made that weren't asked, if you will. And I'm going to take you through some factual timeline of what Kefee D said, and you're going to understand where I'm coming from with this. Check this out. So Kefee D said in an interview, he said basically that the FBI had told him that Von Zip, they called him Zip, right, had ran off with the $1 million. Right? The $1 million, I would think, that was supposed to be given to Kefee D for the 2Pac situation in Vegas. Right? And so, but Kefee D say basically he was mad and he would have stood strong and would have never said anything and confessed to Greg Kading in the proffer agreement if Puffy and Zip would have gave him half the money, right? Now, remember when Kefee D said that immediately after the situation and the shooting involving 2Pac, he received a call from Puffy, right? Faith Evans, Zip, in regards to, was that them, was his words, meaning, was that, Kefee D and his crew or whatever that was responsible for the shooting of 2Pac, right? The thing that baffles me is how would the FBI know that Zip ran away with the money, number one, according to Kefee D now. This is what he's saying. How would they know that Von Zip ran away with the money? Not only that, if they know that he ran away with the money, then who was the money from and what was the money for? Usually they would have all of that if they know that he ran away with the money, right? Now, they could say, well, he ran away with the $1 million. That doesn't say that the $1 million had anything to do with 2Pac and him. But for face value, I'm going to say, yeah, it did. Because from what Kefee D said, that's what they basically told him. Zip ran away with the $1 million. So that $1 million was allegedly for the hit on 2Pac or what have you, right? But the problem I got with that is, listen, that was supposed to be immediately after. What we don't know is the timeline in which all of that happened. But I guarantee you this. Check this out. Remember, 2Pac, September 7th, 1996, died on September 13th, 1996. Biggie, 6 months later. Let's go to the Peterson Automotive Museum, right? Now, Kefee D saying he never got paid. I don't know if whatever the arrangement was, because he never talked about the arrangement for the money, right? Like, who was supposed to get the money? How was the money supposed to be delivered? And from what he's saying, okay, Zip handled that. So allegedly so. Okay. But mind you, now, let's go to March 9th at the Peterson Automotive Museum. Puffy was there, right? There's pictures. Biggie was there, right? There's pictures. And a lot of the artists from Bad Boy. Now, this is 6 months later. This is 6 months after the 2Pac situation has happened, right? Who else was there? Kefee D was there by his own admission. Now, if Kefee D was at the Peterson Automotive Museum, right? And somebody owe you $1 million, $500,000, $10,000. Did he not ask Puffy for his money? That's the $1 million question. Out of all of these situations, out of all of the questions that have ever been answered, that was the one that I never heard asked by anyone. Not to say that it hadn't been, I just haven't heard it. When Kefee D was at the Peterson Automotive Museum that night when Biggie got killed, he said he ran into Puffy, and he said Puffy said something about the feds is on me, the police is on me, and so on and so forth. My question is, did Kefee D ask him for his money? Right? Now, remember what Suge said. And like I said, every time Suge say something, you kind of give him less and less credibility based on the fact that when Suge say something, it's always crazy and outlandish, right? Remember Suge said that if you solve the 2Pac case, you solve the Biggie case? Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. Now, I don't know, but for $1 million, right, as Kefee D said, involving the 2Pac situation, that was the promise. They met where they met. They talked about that. They discussed that. He said Puffy was in fear of Suge and 2Pac, but mainly of Suge, right? And for this price, Kefee D quoted to Puffy, they could handle it, right? So now, you say you're going to do something, and then all of a sudden it doesn't get done. I don't know the timeline in which Zip was allegedly given this money. Don't know by who. That's why I asked the question in the beginning. Well, if the FBI say that, Zip ran off with the money, but where did the money come from? They should know that too, since they could tell Kefee D that. But more importantly, at the Peterson Automotive Museum, this is 6 months later. And in 6 months, you ain't got me my money, and I'm supposed to handle this thing for you or whatever, and you ain't got me my money, and I ask you for my money, right? Or you tell me something about the feds is on you and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. There's a possibility that I might want to do something to somebody that's dear to him, like he wanted me to do something to somebody that was dear to Suge, or somebody that Puffy thought he had a problem with from that perspective, right? Which was 2Pac and Suge after 2Pac wrote Hit 'Em Up. Now check it out. So, who would that person be? And so now, that's what muddies up the case. And remember, Suge said, well, if you solve one murder, you'll solve Biggie's. Why would he say that? Right? Another thing. When Suge got Orlando Anderson to come to testify for him in the court case involving the Vegas fight, when Suge was facing violation of probation, right? Did they have a conversation? You know, other than what it was, did they talk on the phone? Kefee D, you know, because when Suge just did the interview with TMZ, he was like, free Kefee D. So if he could say that, and I don't know if Kefee D and Suge have spoken or seen each other since the situation had happened in Vegas, I don't know that, right? But I'm saying, if you could pay Orlando $60,000, right? And basically Kefee D saying that his nephew was the one that did it, then you could see how the situation at the Peterson involving Puffy or Kefee D might saying, hey, yo, you know what, this what happened, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. But at that particular time, it's like, well, it's 6 months later. Didn't he ask him for his money when he seen him at the Peterson? Because I know that would have been the first thing on my mind. Like, dude, you know, if I'm on that kind of time, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the question. That's the $1 million question. Did Kefee D ask Puffy for his money when he seen him at the Peterson Automotive Museum the night that Biggie was killed? Right? And if he did, and, you know, Puffy blew him off or whatever it was, and so on and so forth, you know, yeah, like, yeah, it just, the gravity of that is just crazy, if you will. Think about it. You know, allegedly Puffy was hard Kefee D, you know, to kill 2Pac or Suge or hurt him or maim him or whatever you want to call it, right? And then, you know, Kefee D saying, you know, in his latest narratives with these videos with Vlad and all the dialogue, you know, Puffy never looked out, you know, he ain't never give me my money, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Now, I'm saying 6 months after, there was a time that we know and confirm, because Kefee D confirmed it, that he seen Puffy at the Peterson Automotive Museum. And the question is, did you ask Puffy for your money? And if you did, what did he say? That's the question I've never heard asked before. And that's what baffles me about this whole situation when you sit down and you really, truly, honestly think about it. And like you said, the FBI saying basically that Zip ran off with the money, you know, from that perspective, if you will. And where did the money come from? Did Kefee ask the FBI that? You know. And so, like I said, once again, these are very important questions that need to be answered. You know, I think a lot of people don't think outside the box when they think about everything that's the information that's being disseminated to them, you know, and what Kefee D is saying and so on and so forth. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think about that. Your boy DELRAY, straight game.